I completed basic training at Lackland Air Force Base in January 1962. Most of the guys in my flight had already received their orders and were anxious to get to their new assignments. I had to wait for the results of a security background check that, unknown to me at the time, was being conducted back home. I found out later that investigators had gone to my hometown in New Jersey and talked to people who had known me. That included family members and school teachers. Surprisingly, the investigators sat at the lunch counter in the store owned and operated by my mother and asked several arriving customers if they knew me. Most of them did, as it was a small country community. Subsequently, I received my orders and was transferred to Goodfellow Air Force Base in San Angelo, Texas, for technical school. I believe the course of study was called Radio Intercept and Analysis, 202 School for short. I arrived at Good Buddy Air Force Base in February 1962. An entirely new world opened. I remember thinking during the first couple weeks of school that we were being taught a subject that we didn't even know existed. We were told repeatedly that we were the creme de la creme of the Air Force. We also were told that our technical school was the second most difficult school in the Air Force. It certainly was not easy. School was divided into blocks. Each block was a different subject matter. Some of the blocks were 1 week long, others were 2 weeks. I believe there was an N block, but there might have been more. We were only allowed to fail and repeat a block once. If we failed a second time, we were transferred to an undesirable job outside of the intelligence field. As you might expect, the washout rate was very high. During A block, the first week of school, we began learning the fundamentals of intelligence analysis. This included every aspect of the security service, from handling top secret code word material to why the content of trash cans was never thrown away for pickup. We also began hearing strange terms such as target nation, swamp, ELINT, and the contribution of diddy-bops and squirrels to the mission. We also learned the series of 5-letter code words and the all-pervasive need to know. As I prepared this video, I found through Google that the code words used during my time can easily be found. However, 53 years after my discharge, I still cannot bring myself to talk about certain things, code words being one. Because of the nature of what we were learning, we were not allowed to take any books or notes back to the barracks to study. Everything we were using in the classroom was classified. If we wanted to study outside of class hours, we had to go back into the secure area of base where classes were conducted. This secure area was called the compound, and it was a term that we would use for the rest of our time in the intelligence field. I block was an unusually difficult 2-week block. Unfortunately, I failed it. However, I repeated it and passed. In retrospect, it was the most interesting material that we covered, and certainly would be the most visible in the field, as I'm sure most 202s would agree. Let's say there was a lot to look at. As a class approached the end of school, the instructor would get a list of assignments. The pending vacancies could be anywhere. The soon-to-be 202s would select whichever assignment they wanted. The person having the highest grade average got first choice of assignment, second highest grade average got second choice of assignment, and on down the line. A few months prior to my graduation from tech school, a friend who had lived in the same barracks as me at Goodbuddy and who had been several blocks ahead of me at school had gone to Turkey and raved about it in a letter to me. So when the assignment selection process reached me, I chose an 18-month assignment at Karamsel Air Station in Turkey. At the end of August 1962, I was graduated and officially became a 202-30 and promoted in rank to Airman Second with orders to report to Karamsel Air Station in Turkey.